Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. You hear it. Come on home, boxing junkies. The doors are open. Boxing junkies, welcome. Today's fix in the boxing rehab, excuse me, is a WBA International Super Welterweight bout. Undefeated fighters, and that is what we're talking about. Is Anthony Fowler versus Scott Fitzgerald. Before we get into this fight, again, this is for the WBA International Super Welterweight title. I just want to say for the new viewers who tuned into the WRT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show, hopefully you do become subscribed. But all I want to say is don't subscribe right now. Check this episode out. Go watch a few other episodes. We got Mr.A's thoughts. I just my opinion on boxing topics, and sometimes I just make the own boxing topics. So those are fresh ideas, fresh things you won't find any other show. For a month of Sundays, you won't find any other Mr.A's thoughts. Anywhere on YouTube for a whole month of Sundays. So you got those. You got breakdown predictions like regular shit. Post-fight reactions. I go live once in a while, so check a few of those out. Come back if you're entertained, subscribe. Then, until right now, check this out. The International Super Welterweight title. Now, we're going to get into that because for the new people and subscribers, we talk about belts, and that's one of the reasons why we are covering this fight. Besides the hard-hitting, they both look like they hit hard as fuck, This show was created a year and a half ago, so I'm more familiar with Anthony Fowler through my researches of fights. Like I said, I found Fowler out because throughout the research I was doing for the show, I just kept hearing his name through the commentators, like, oh, the young lad or the young GB. Fowler was victorious tonight again. So I was like, okay. I kept hearing that. Eventually I started watching him since he was probably 6-0. 6-0, something like that. 6-0. And I just seen I heard Scott Fitzgerald, very recent, talking shit. So, all right, cool. Fowler looked like he hits hard as fuck. Come on, let me Fitzgerald looked like he hits hard as fuck. So that should be a good fight. So interested in that fight, but we're going to dive into the international belt because this is, like I said, this is pretty interesting because this card is headlined by Liam Smith and Sam Egerton, and that is also a super welterweight title, the silver by the WBC. So we're trying to get some super welterweight action going on. Now Fowler and Fitzgerald, like I said, I think this is going to be a fan. It'd be interesting to see because from all I see is Fowler is a pretty good pressure fighter. He goes in there to beat the shit out your body and knock you out. That's from the last 3-4 fights I've seen of him. Fitzgerald seemed like he hits hard. Seemed like he's more of the elusive fighter out of the two. More of a boxer, but he gets tired. But Fowler looks like he's a fucking thick, thoroughbred fucking 154. I don't know how he's making that weight. It's interesting to see if these guys do not knock each other out early, who's gonna be better the second half of the fight. How many rounds is this bout? A 10-round bout. Now, I seen Fowler go at least 4. He's been 8-8-8. He's been 5-6-2, 5-6. The last couple of fights I seen the O'Brien and the Gorbics. He was looking okay somewhat. He's a little, like I said, the flat foot was Fitzgerald have that movement. Like I said, to me, I think he's a slicker inside fighter. I should say defensively. I think he can slip punches a lot better than Fowler, but Fowler's a straight up down guy right in front of you, easy to hit. when he throws his body shots, both hands are down. He's easily to catch and shoot. Will Fitzgerald take that chance to catch and shoot on him? Can he have the ability to catch and shoot later into the deep rounds where he'd be too tired? Like when he fought against Morris, seemed like he kind of was gassing out. And Will Fowler, I think that's what we all are wanting to see. Who out of these guys, who's going to perform better, deeper? From what I've seen, even though Morris tired Fitzgerald out, he survived. He actually knocked Morris out. But I haven't seen Fowler get that deep. And I don't think he's going to perform well going into deep waters. I do not think he's going to perform well, but I think he's going to perform better than Fitzgerald. I'm going with Fowler to wear down Fitzgerald, because from what I've seen of Fitzgerald, to me he's better hand speed, better boxer, but it dies out. Like his battery's not. He's a generic battery. But I think Fowler does about one or two things good, but he does them really well. He's a precious fighter. Gonna beat the shit out of Fitzgerald's body. The guy who gets tired. And I got him stopping Fitzgerald. I think Fitzgerald's gonna get winded and get stopped with some body attacks. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. And again, for you guys who are just new viewers, hope you go watch a few other episodes and see if you're entertained, then come back and subscribe. I said, again, this is for the WBA International Super Welterweight title. And fuck it, we will talk about it for the new viewers and the old ones who may have forgotten. A lot of people do not like the belts. Too many fucking belts. Well, boxing's a fucking global sport. Year round. How you gonna have one champion? You know what I mean? How the fuck are you gonna have one champion? It's just, how often that guy's gonna have to fight. Well, fight him. Who deserves to fight him? You gotta use the belt system as that. So international is in one continent, all the countries. You can cross borders and you fight that. You're the king of that. That country, that continent, all the little countries in it. And then you have intercontinental, the continental and then the intercontinental. Intercontinental is you can cross the border into another continent. That's continental. Intercontinental is you can fly across water into another continent. So usually, from what I'm noticing making a Double RT Boxing Show, thank you for your time and support. Usually the last belt people grab is the intercontinental. Usually when you grab that belt, your next fight or two is for the world championship, because you're flying over, you're traveling anywhere to find that champion. These belts have limitations unless you get a voluntary handed in your lap. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Thank you for tuning in.